12-year-old boy drowns at Mahogany Lake.
Drowning can happen in seconds and is often silent.
A family devastated. Neighbors say it's time for change.
It's pretty scary when it's supposed to be a fun place.
Plus, alarm intensifies over last week's massive data leak.
This is serious stuff. This is democracy under attack.
As one separatist group is investigated, another submits hundreds of thousands of signatures supporting independence. And 10 years after the beast descended on Fort McMurray.
Let's go, let's go. Get on the buses.
A resilient community rises from the ashes.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. It was a deadly weekend in Alberta waters. We begin in Calgary, southeast community of Mahogany. CTV News has learned the young boy who was rushed to hospital after being pulled from Mahogany Lake Sunday has died. Some residents are once again calling for change. Here's Tyson Fedor.
A heartbreaking scene unfolded just after 7 o'clock Sunday night at Mahogany Lake. Paramedics, police and firefighters rushed in to try and save the life of a 12-year-old boy who had reportedly drowned.
Witnesses reported a child or youth was playing basketball and then had gone into the lake off the docks. And then the witnesses attempted to assist them, but they went under the surface of the water.
This video submitted to CTV News shows CFD's aquatic rescue team searching the bottom of the lake, finding the young boy who was then rushed by ground ambulance to South Health Campus in critical, life-threatening condition.
And our crews were able to rescue and pull the child from about a depth of 6 meters or 20 feet out of the water into a waiting ambulance.
Fire officials say several people tried to jump in and save the youth, but on Monday, those close with the family tell CTV News the boy has passed away. His family just immigrated to Canada from Ghana at the end of March in search of a better life. A family spokesperson says the boy was trying to make friends and did not know how to swim.
It's pretty scary when it's supposed to be a fun place.
Bianca Gallant has lived in the community for a little more than a year. She says this death, along with the 2 men who drowned last summer, is reason enough to push for change.
If they would raise the age of kids that can access in there without supervision, I feel like it would be better for everybody.
Lifeguards are not on duty with signs outlining use at your own risk.
They should have more safety people, look after and it's always crowded. There's so many people coming and going.
Drowning can happen in seconds and is often silent.
One drowning prevention advocacy group says water safety is everyone's responsibility.
Making sure you're wearing a life jacket. Your life jacket works just like a seatbelt. It will not work if it is not on.
And Tyson joins us from Mahogany Lake tonight. Tyson, despite some recent warmer weather, that water behind you is still quite frigid.
And Tara, that may have played a part in this most recent death. Fire officials telling me today that the water at this time of year here in Alberta sits around 10 degrees Celsius. For comparison, a swimming pool is generally between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. And the cold water effect can have an impact on your breathing, your mobility, your limbs, and also your cognition. Now, this is the 4th reported drowning death here at Mahogany Lake since 2021. The lake was closed to residents here in Mahogany for all of today. It is expected to fully reopen tomorrow morning at 9. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. The search has been called off for a 25-year-old man who drowned Friday in Banff National Park. Mounties say the man from Pennsylvania jumped into the lower falls at Johnson Canyon and did not make it out. His body was not recovered and the search has been suspended. The father charged with the first-degree murder of his 2 children appeared in court this morning. There is a small memorial where the children were found in an SUV Thursday along 14th Street Northwest. A publication ban was brought forward by the Crown last week to protect the identities of the victims. By extension, that also covers the identity of the accused. In court this morning, the 37-year-old's lawyer requested his bail hearing be delayed until June 5th. That request was granted. The trial began today in a fatal roadside shooting east of Calgary nearly 2 years ago. Colin Huff was shot and killed after stopping to help when he spotted a vehicle on fire in August 2024. A Fortis employee pulled over to help too. He was also shot but survived. Police say the suspects took off in Huff's truck. Elijah Strawberry and Arthur Penner are being tried together for second-degree murder and attempted murder. The trial is expected to last a month. It is delivery day for a petition pushing for Alberta separation. Thousands of signatures were handed over to Elections Alberta ahead of a possible referendum. But the movement is facing several hurdles, including a court challenge and scrutiny after a massive data breach. And security experts are speaking out about major concerns of voter information now being made public. Here's Jordan Canagan.
43 boxes handed over to Elections Alberta with signatures supporting a referendum on Alberta separation.
We took a picture of canvassers and we put a different picture in front of every one of our boxes because this represents all of you.
Stay Free Alberta needed 178,000 signatures. Organizers say they got more than 300,000.
I think that you should be able to give leaders instruction, and I think that that's the purpose of it.
Elections Alberta still needs to verify the petition. That won't happen until after a court ruling on a challenge from Alberta First Nations groups. The movement is also facing scrutiny after a massive data leak was posted online by another separatist group.
The scale of this is truly unprecedented in Alberta's history. It's the volume, the size of the breach, the number of the people that are affected. It's massive. And there's a real risk of harm.
Alberta's electors list contains the information of nearly 3 million people.
The voters list doesn't stand alone. It's bad, but it becomes really dangerous because it can be matched with all the fragments about your personal information that we've been leaving on the internet for the last, 25 years or whatever it is.
And the former RCMP investigator warns that trove of information could make it into the hands of criminal groups and foreign agents.
The potential that this breach of data creates is possibly the greatest risk I've seen to personal security, finances, and safety I've ever come across in all my years of service.
The voter list leak is now at the center of several independent investigations.
We on this side want the people who are responsible, if they have harmed someone, to be held accountable. That is the reason why we have to go through the process and why I trust the RCMP and the APS, and I trust Elections Alberta to get to the bottom of it.
And Jordan joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Jordan, what else could we see related to this data breach?
Well, Tara, the opposition to NDP is calling for urgent government action. They're also requesting a public inquiry. Now, all of these separate investigations will take some time, but we are expecting some type of update from Elections Alberta at some point later on this week. That security expert we spoke to earlier also says that there will be internal conversations in law enforcement agencies about the safety of their own officers, because, of course, their information would have been included in this leak as well. And he says that there are steps that Albertans can take, including being more vigilant about what people are posting on social media. Something seemingly as innocent as a birthday message posted online could be pieced together using this data from the leak and used against people to take advantage of Albertans. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. Alberta's Justice Minister is addressing concerns that the data leak could put people fleeing domestic violence in danger.
Certainly, we expect to see the people who are leaking that information be held accountable. And again, we will take all necessary steps, both within my ministry and the other ministries that are impacted, to make sure that victims of intimate partner violence and domestic violence are well protected.
An Edmonton City Councillor says he has already heard from a handful of people who fear for their safety. Aaron Paquette says at least one of his constituents is moving because they believe their address was made public. He wants to see the legislation change so this never happens again.
When a political party receives this voter list, they hold it in confidence. There are laws around it. You are not supposed to pass it on to third parties who have no accountability. Who is ultimately accountable? The people who write the legislation. Is the legislation strong enough to protect Albertans?
Paquette also wants a serious punishment handed out to whomever released the information. The Justice Minister says he will consider changing legislation after Election Alberta's investigation is complete.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
In the Middle East, the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran saw its biggest escalation today since a ceasefire was declared 4 weeks ago. The United States started a new operation today in a bid to allow stuck vessels to travel through the Strait of Hormuz. It is the first apparent attempt to use naval power to unblock the world's most important energy shipping route. Tehran responded in an effort to keep control of the strait. A handful of commercial vessels were reported to have been hit, and an oil port in the United Arab Emirates was ablaze after an Iranian strike. The worst energy crisis of our lifetime. That is what one prominent oil and gas expert is calling this situation in the Middle East. It comes as some are pushing for governments to scrap green energy policies while increasing oil exports. Tyler Barrow has more.
As the war in and around Iran rages on, disrupting approximately a fifth of the world's oil supply, Canada's major energy fund manager warns of significant consequences.
Even if the strait were to open up tomorrow, we would lose 1.5 billion barrels at a minimum of forfeited production, and that's a massive, massive gaping hole.
He says countries like Australia, which have few refineries, could have to take drastic measures with government policy, implementing work-from-home orders. Currently, WTI sits at over $100 a barrel. With reserves being depleted, Nuttall estimates WTI could rise to $177.
Canada and the United States, we will have access to product. We're just going to be paying for it because the spread between domestic pricing and international will eventually narrow.
This comes as others focus on boosting supply. In the House of Commons, the federal Conservatives applied pressure to get a new pipeline built.
This Prime Minister said a pipeline was more probable than possible, but there's no proponent. There's no start date, no completion date, no route. There's no plan.
The governing Liberals shot back, saying Alberta will submit the plan within 2 months under the Memorandum of Understanding. But now, some are calling for a suspension to part of that MOU. A top public policy expert says the oil sands carbon capture, utilization and storage project to reduce greenhouse gases needs to be postponed and efforts refocused on producing more oil.
$20 billion for a project that would not be generating revenue. It's putting something in the ground, not taking it out of the ground and selling it.
Hall Finley believes it would have a negligible effect, only reducing global emissions by 0.02%. Meanwhile, on Monday, the Oil Sands Alliance also threw cold water on the project by calling out Canada's complex regulatory processes and uncompetitive carbon frameworks, adding, "Unfortunately, while both governments have taken steps toward this critical national interest objective since signing the MOU, the pace of change has been slow and we are at risk of letting this opportunity pass Canada by." Still, some feel it's a cost the big oil companies can afford.
These are extraordinarily profitable companies, especially profitable this year, and they're being asked to do a project that they pledged to do 5 years ago.
And Tyler joins us now. So, Tyler, with some momentum against the carbon capture project, did the province or the feds weigh in on this?
Tara, Ottawa calls reducing emissions a moral imperative and an economic opportunity. Meanwhile, Alberta says negotiations with the federal government and Pathways proponents continue. But the province says it is committed to getting a good deal for Albertans, and any agreement must keep Alberta's energy and industrial sectors competitive and thriving on the global stage. Tara?
Okay, Tyler, thank you. Well, it looks like a pretty mild evening out there. Gina, you might still need a little jacket if you're going for a walk.
Yes, a windbreaker to be specific. When we look at the wind speeds right now, they're still pretty gusty out of the north from about 30 to 60 kilometers an hour. We saw peak wind gusts today from the airport right at 60 kilometers an hour. And it's all being moved in from a cooler direction here. You can see that north to south flow because the jet stream's right on top of us right now. So expecting those winds out of the north throughout the evening here. Will cool off to 1 degree overnight. Cloudy start to Tuesday. Slight chance of some flurries possible. And then we're going to see a similar high for Tuesday afternoon at 13.
Thank you, Gina. Just ahead, Alberta adds more firefighters for the 2026 wildfire season. 550 more, in fact. Alberta is also piloting a new program to help communities. We'll explain. And panic from passengers aboard a deadly cruise ship outbreak, the stranded Canadians, and what we know about this rare rodent virus. Today, the province announced a 10% increase in new wildfire fighters for this year. The goal is to help municipalities be better protected. Curtis Goodrum has more on the province's plans, which were put to the test this weekend in Alberta.
That fire jumped across the road and has burnt about 2.5 hectares of forest.
We have 3 permanent structures that are burnt to the ground.
A fire in Sandy Beach, 60 kilometers north of Edmonton, sent crews into action this weekend. Teams were able to get it under control after it damaged infrastructure in the summer village.
This year, Alberta is introducing the Mutual Aid Incentive Pilot for the 2026 wildfire season.
Forestry and Parks Minister Todd Loewen says that program was used for the first time this weekend by Sandy Beach. Municipalities can request up to $125,000 when dealing with fires.
When municipalities have a fire breakout, they don't consider the costs. They consider the effectiveness of having as many boots on the ground as possible.
To further help firefighting efforts this season, the province says it's hired more than 550 seasonal firefighters with the possibility of contracting more. It's also secured a new contract to buy 5 new water bombers. Right now, the province owns 4 and contracts out 14.
These tools enhance the overall wildfire response by improving safety, effectiveness, and coordination between air and ground crews.
The province says this weekend was not an anomaly for fires, with more expected as temperatures heat up.
We'll probably continue to see these grass fires that are getting out of control continue over the next few weeks.
While the emergency alert for Sandy Beach has been lifted, a fire ban is still in place.
It didn't take much to set that fire off.
From Sturgeon County, Curtis Goodrum, CTV News.
And this is the trick this time of year, Gina. It's dry. We need the moisture. We want the heat. We need the moisture.
I know. It's that battle of, do we want the nice weather or do we want the weather that's going to help us out this summer? We get a little bit of both of it this week. Today, it was noticeably cooler out there. And it's because of these winds right now. Pretty gusty out of the north. You can just see all those white lines that are just streaming from north to south. They're quite intense. And it's because the jet stream is positioned right on top of us right now in a north to south direction. So bringing in quite a bit of cool air throughout the day, and that'll continue into tomorrow, keeping our temperatures in the cooler end of the seasonal range. So we're at 12 right now. We did manage to get to a high of 13 this afternoon. Normal high for this time of year for Calgary is 15. So again, not drastically cooler, but noticeably after we had that lovely 21-degree day on Sunday there. Tomorrow, very similar setup because we don't have a lot of movement in our upper air weather pattern. So expect another day of 13 degrees tomorrow. And places like Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Brooks, which are quite a bit warmer at this time of year, will notice that cool off too. You can see with our radar satellite right now that north-south flow, and it's all kind of moving in towards a very large low pressure system over Ontario right now. That I'll show you the big picture of that in our next weather hit. What I just want to show with the flow of those clouds right now is that slight potential for some early morning flurries. I mean, I say slight. It could fall in some showers too, but it's looking pretty flat here in Calgary and Banff. You might have a slightly higher chance in the Lethbridge area of dealing with some flurries or some very cold rain. But again, overall, looking like it won't be too big of a situation for tomorrow morning. Just throwing that out there so you're prepared for it if it does happen. A lot of sunshine on tap for many areas over the next 3 days here. But you notice the temperature tomorrow will cool out there before we climb back into seasonal, if not above seasonal temperatures throughout southern Alberta here. Your Action for It is 5-day forecast showing that sun returning in full force here in Calgary by the time Wednesday comes around. So a nice high of 23 degrees in store, looking like the hot spot for the week. Thursday holding on to a ridge of high pressure, so that'll allow another day of mostly sun, but some building cloud in the afternoon. High of 20, still good. 21 on Friday, but it's going to be late on Friday where we see more of those clouds, possibly producing some rain and more sustained showers, expected for Saturday morning.
Panic at sea after a deadly outbreak of the suspected but rare hantavirus on board a cruise ship. 3 people are dead, several others are ill. 4 Canadians are among the nearly 150 passengers and crew. The vessel is now on lockdown, anchored near Cape Town, South Africa. CTV's John Vinavali-Rao reports.
Deck 4 is where the lobby is.
In a video posted at the start of the voyage, an American travel blogger took his followers on a tour of the cruise ship, now stuck, unable to dock and to unload passengers amid a suspected hantavirus outbreak.
And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
In a new tearful video, the blogger talks about the fears on board after 3 passengers died.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
Among the 149 on the ship are 4 Canadians, currently anchored off the coast of the capital of Cabo Verde, where officials won't allow the cruise ship to dock to, quote, protect public health.
It's one of those diseases that at the moment there's no specific treatment to cure the disease after someone becomes infected, and there isn't also a vaccine available to prevent people from getting infected.
The ship was on a cruise from Argentina and stopping at remote islands in the South Atlantic. 3 weeks ago, a 70-year-old Dutch passenger died, and after leaving the ship, so did his wife. Then a British man evacuated to this hospital in South Africa tested positive for hantavirus. And a 3rd German passenger died on Saturday. 2 crew members still on board also have acute respiratory symptoms and will be removed for medical care. Hantaviruses are rare, mainly transmitted through contact with rodents or their droppings. It's what killed the wife of actor Gene Hackman last year. Symptoms can take weeks to appear, and human-to-human transmission is not common.
So it's very rare for hantaviruses. In fact, the only hantaviruses that are known to cause human-to-human transmission originate from South America, and in particular areas like Argentina.
In a statement, a WHO official stressed the risk to the wider public remains low. There is no need for panic or travel restrictions.
Meanwhile, experts say there are only on average about 4 to 5 cases of hantavirus in Canada each year, typically linked to rodent exposures in rural parts of the western provinces. John Benavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, still to come, back surgery in the morning, home by the afternoon. A new spinal surgery being performed in Calgary is allowing some patients to leave within hours instead of days. And the city of Calgary embraces Star Wars Day with a special message from the gang who keeps our parks looking tidy. Imagine having spinal surgery and then walking out of the hospital and going home the same day. A new program in Calgary is making that a reality for some patients. As Kevin Green reports, it doesn't just help patients, it also frees up valuable hospital resources. But not enough surgeons are trained in the procedure.
Spinal fusion surgery usually requires a large incision and injury to surrounding tissues, as well as days of recovery in hospital. But that is changing. This ultra-minimally invasive procedure called TLIF uses a small camera and several tiny incisions to reach the spine instead of a single large cut,
enabling patients to recover from their surgery much faster than traditional approaches.
Surgeons say that means less damage to muscle, less blood loss, and much faster recovery for patients.
Patients typically get up and walk within 2 to 3 hours after the operation, and they are able to go home on the same day after surgery.
The program has treated nearly 100 patients since starting last year. One of them is 72-year-old Dale Bingham.
This has changed my life so good for the better.
This is video of Bingham's surgery in January. Within days, he was back at the gym, and now he's back on the fairway.
I played 18 holes on Saturday and 9 holes on Sunday. 0 back pain.
This was Bingham leaving surgery that January morning. His partner says the change was immediate.
I was shocked, actually. I literally, as soon as he was out of recovery, went to see him at the day hospital, and yeah, he was up and moving.
The procedure uses a small camera to guide surgeons through incisions just millimeters wide, allowing them to remove damaged disc material and stabilize the spine without major muscle disruption. Because recovery is so much faster, doctors say it can also free up hospital beds more quickly.
Because we're doing surgery as day operations, we save inpatient hospital care beds as well as resources so that other Calgarians who need access to these resources can access these resources in a more timely manner.
Right now, only a small number of surgeons are trained in the technique. Yang hopes that will change and says one of the best ways to make that happen is for patients to start asking for it.
I think more education for patients to drive that conversation with the surgeon will be imperative.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Progress in the fight against Alzheimer's, a drug that could slow the advance of dementia in the early stages of the disease, has been approved by Health Canada. The drug, called donanemab, is not a cure, but it targets and removes a specific plaque in the brain that causes cognitive impairment. The IV infusion, administered once a month, showed promise in nearly half of those in the trial. But the Alzheimer's Society also noted that 23% of those involved and on a placebo also showed no progression. Well, hard to believe it has been 10 years since a massive blaze ripped through Fort McMurray. We'll speak to residents about what they remember from that terrifying day and why so many chose to return and help rebuild. May the 4th be with you. Just in case no one has said that to you today, this is Star Wars Day, and the city of Calgary is having a little fun with it. The city is kicking off its seasonal turf maintenance program, also known as mowing the grass, in city parks. Staff will mow over 4,000 hectares in the next few months. That's about 7,500 CFL football fields. Sports fields, parks, boulevards, and medians will all get a haircut this summer, some as many as 20 times, depending on their size.
I like that golf one.
Very clever.
I like that one, right?
Well, you guys have heard of Zara. It's a popular clothing brand worldwide. We've got a few here in Calgary. It's also known for its models who do odd poses in all of their ads, and that kind of hit home with this realtor.
They nailed
See,
it.
it makes about as much sense in, advertising for a home as it does for models, yeah. They're incorporating Zara's vision into his real estate marketing. They just pose around the house, superimposing the Zara logo on there.
It looks great.
It does look great. Like, it's very artsy. It's ridiculous.
Kind of brilliant.
But it's kind of artsy. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, speaking of posing, if you're going to do it at the beach, just be aware of the conditions around you. Ow. That wasn't supposed to happen. So she was trying to recreate the scene from The Little Mermaid where Ariel is sitting on the rocks. Instead, just watch. She gets chucked onto the beach. That wave comes crashing behind her. She wasn't hurt. She laughed about it. But
you gotta watch that water, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not how it looked in the movie.
Hey, it's still iconic.
Yeah. Well, there's a fresh and furry face at the Toronto Zoo. Little baby. The zoo announced a brand new Bactrian camel calf was born last Thursday. The little one stood up about 2 hours after this. The zoo says moments like this highlight just how important wildlife conservation is. Wow. Bactrian camels are critically endangered. There are currently fewer than 950 of them in the wild. Most of them are located in Mongolia and China.
Stood up and then had to have a lay down.
Yeah, exactly. Take it easy.
Yeah, right.
Very cute little calf. A U.S. company wants to take over another company that's 4 times its size. We have details on GameStop's bid to buy eBay. That's coming up in our business report.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. Noticing with some of our cameras throughout the city, especially on this Skywatch weather camera here, a little bit of a wobble. That's still indicating that it's a bit breezy out there right now. We're likely to have those windy conditions for the next couple of hours before it calms down overnight. We got to 13 degrees today. Felt a little cooler out there because of those northerly winds. Tomorrow's looking very similar when it comes to our temperatures. So looking at your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free. Pretty cool tonight, down to 1 degree, but the temperature rallies nicely tomorrow morning at 10. Building cloud, the slightest chance of some flurries possible. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just showing a bit of the temperature change we've noticed, though, over the last 24 hours here. It was a beautiful Sunday with temperatures in the 20s. We're noticeably cooler today. And like I mentioned, tomorrow is going to be very similar. When it comes to our temperatures, we're kind of stuck in this pattern of a north to south jet stream right over us right now. And it's all getting funneled into a big low pressure system over Ontario currently. So that's kind of steering a lot of the weather pattern right now. But we get some ridging starting to return back into the Alberta area by the time Wednesday comes around. So that'll bring more sunshine and warmth, a little bit of stability for a couple of days. But then by late Friday into Saturday, we get this veering from the jet stream flow here, that ridge pattern, which could produce some more clouds, cool off off our temperatures a little bit and provide some rain as well by the time Saturday comes around. So we're on the up and up by midweek there, nice high 23 degrees, and we can see that the overall 10-day trend is looking pretty nice and above seasonal.
CTV News has learned a young boy who was pulled from Mahogany Lake last night has died. A dive team pulled him out after he jumped in. He was rushed to hospital but could not be saved. The boy's family just moved here from Ghana in the spring. The search for a 25-year-old American tourist who drowned in Johnson Canyon has been suspended. Parks Canada has reopened the trail now to the public. And a group spearheading the Alberta separation movement dropped off more than 300,000 signatures today. The petition won't be verified until a court ruling on a challenge from First Nations groups. The Horse Hill wildfire, the Beast, or simply the Fort McMurray fire, whatever you call it, the flames that hit that northern Alberta community 10 years ago amounted to the most expensive natural disaster in Canadian history. Jeremy Thompson reminds us what it was like for the people fleeing their homes and how the city has changed in the last decade.
Oh, you can feel the heat.
Not zoomed in.
Holy.
It was a day like no other. May 3rd, 2016. The wildfire that had been burning near the city of Fort McMurray for days turned towards town, whipped into a frenzy by strong winds.
There is no comprehension that we would be experiencing what we did by the afternoon.
Melissa Blake was mayor then.
The fire is down here somewhere and moving this way.
She recalls checking its progress from a 7th floor boardroom at City Hall.
You know, you look out at 10 in the morning, it's not so bad. There's a little smoke in the background. You look out at about 1 o'clock and holy cow, there's some flames that you can see behind Abasan, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the flames consuming the top of Abasan.
Let's go, let's go. Get on the bus.
Traffic backed up on the only highway south out of Fort McMurray. As cars crawled along, flames devoured dry trees and grass beside them. 10 years later, Fort McMurrayites described the organized chaos of more than 80,000 people evacuating at once. Cassie Colson was an education assistant at an elementary school.
Everything shifted really fast. The buses weren't able to come through. So us as a staff decided, well, we have to get the kids out of here. What are we going to do? So we piled all the kids that were left in every vehicle.
As evacuees made their way south, they encountered empty gas stations and overflowing hotels.
I'm running on fumes of gas. No single any drop in the tank.
The fire forced many others north to oil sands camps, including Mayor Blake. She remembers being flown out of there days later, along with her neighbors and all their pets.
I think it was the Suncor contracted WestJet planes that took us all out. There was no restriction on the animals, the big dogs, little cats, fish, it didn't matter. You could get on board that WestJet plane and they were going to take you somewhere.
For the better part of a month, cities and towns across Alberta welcomed and supported evacuees with supplies and kind gestures. Some kids finished their school year in Edmonton classrooms.
I used to go to St. Anne, which I got evacuated from it. So right now, today's my first day, so I was teaching a class a bit about some of the stuff I learned at St. Anne.
Some people, like Justin Brandt, left the province as they waited for re-entry.
A lot of people went back to where they're from, Newfoundland, Ontario, New Brunswick, Quebec. I heard of people going all over.
As the weeks dragged on, cleanup crews took on the tall task of making Fort McMurray fit to live in again. Mayor Blake says calls to city staff became hostile as evacuees demanded information they didn't have or couldn't share.
We were getting a lot of pressure and negative feedback saying, let us in, let us in, let us in. And we simply couldn't. Like I was looking literally at power lines that were snapping, crackling, and popping, and it just wasn't safe to bring people back.
Fire crews managed to save roughly 90% of the city, including major municipal infrastructure like the water treatment plant, hospital, and schools. The fire destroyed more than 2,400 structures, mostly homes. Irv Hyde had just retired from the Fort McMurray RCMP when the fire hit. He joined the international humanitarian group Team Rubicon, which formed its Canadian chapter in response to the Fort McMurray fire. Once evacuees had been through the highs and lows of returning home, Team Rubicon helped people safely sift through the debris.
We found wedding rings, we found war medals, sports award things, toys. The majority of people just couldn't move on until they actually physically saw what they saw, and we help facilitate that.
Over the past decade, Beacon Hill has been mostly rebuilt. Almost every home still looks new. Gaps still remain where houses used to be. The local paper reported more than 80% of properties lost in the fire citywide had been rebuilt by 2022.
There's still people fighting insurance companies and builders and stuff like that to this day. But everybody, a lot of the people have come back, and a lot of people say they're no place they'd rather be, too.
A decade after disaster, the oil sands boom has slowed, but present Mayor Sandy Bowman says McMurray's population has grown with the rest of Alberta.
The camp population went down by 11%, and the permanent population went up by about the same amount.
While it's basically back to business as usual, the emotional toll from the fire is less tangible. Local social agencies have concerns about mental health and rising rates of domestic violence, divorce, and addictions. Long-term health impacts to first responders are also uncertain. Even though the stickers are faded and peeling, Mayor Bowman believes his community is still Fort Mac strong.
People that are here are proud of this community and stand up for each other. And I think everyone worked together to build it back up.
It's a sentiment that's part of Fort McMurray's fabric, even as its people continue to support each other through a steady stream of emergencies.
There's no place like it. Like seeing what happened on the highway, and now with the flood possibly happening again, there's no place like Fort McMurray.
The fire, dubbed The Beast, was a reality check and turning point. Reporting from Fort McMurray, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
It is an unexpected offer. A company that sells video games is looking to get into a different kind of retail business. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez explains.
Video game retailer GameStop wants to buy eBay. It made a cash and stock offer of about $55.5 billion US for the e-commerce platform. GameStop has been trying to find new revenue streams since consumers have turned away from brick stores to buy games online. GameStop is a U.S. $11 billion company. eBay is a U.S. $48 billion company. It says it has received the offer and its board will review it. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.46. West Texas Intermediate up over $4 to 106.42. Western Canadian Select is down over $3 to 78.67. And the TSX lost 252 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
Another province is changing how it names winners of major lottery prizes. The Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation is removing the last names of lottery winners on news releases, only sharing the initial of their last name. The move is being done for privacy reasons while still allowing for transparency around lotto winners. Full names will remain on the OLG's website for 30 days. BC's Lottery Corporation also removed full last names on news releases earlier this year. In a statement, the Western Canada Lottery Corporation says while it is aware of what other regions are doing, it is not making any changes at this time. The Flames hope to improve when they learn the order of tomorrow's draft lottery, and there was work to do today, too. Glenn has the details on the team's latest signing next. Another terrifying moment at a U.S. airport. This time, a United Airlines flight clipped a highway light and then hit a truck as it descended toward the runway. You see that the driver notices something is wrong. There's a loud whistle right before it's hit by a Boeing 767, which somehow went on to land at Newark International Airport. According to the FAA, all 231 passengers aboard the plane were uninjured. The driver of the truck was taken to hospital with only minor injuries and has already been released. Wow. The NHL's draft lottery will be held tomorrow night. Glenn's back with us. Glenn, Flames fans hoping they can move up from 4 in the lottery.
Tara, the Flames have a 9.5% chance of moving into that number 1 slot. And of course, that's also what General Manager Craig Conroy wants. But he's also taking care of business this offseason. The Flames announced today they've signed Theo Stockselius to a 3-year entry-level contract. The 18-year-old Swede was selected in the second round, 54th overall by the Flames in the 2025 NHL draft. Stockselius split last year between Djurgårdens of the Swedish Junior League and Djurgårdens of the Swedish Hockey League. He helped the junior squad win their second consecutive league title. Stockselius put up 9 goals and 11 assists in the postseason. The Calgary Hitmen traded for Stock Salius last season, but it sounds like he's going to be staying in Sweden for another season. It seems like drama follows the Toronto Maple Leafs whatever they do. Today, the Leafs announced that Matt Sundin and John Chayka will be running the team. Chayka is the team's new general manager, and Toronto Sun reporter Steve Simmons of the questioned Leafs president and CEO Keith Pelly about the hire.
And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
Wow. Chayka was a former general manager with the Arizona Coyotes. He hasn't been in the league since 2020. We now know who's going to face off against each other in the WHL final. Game 6 between Medicine Hat Tigers and Prince Albert Raiders in the Western final went last night. We'll pick it up in the second period. It was a big one for the Raiders. Braden Coots scores on the power play, and that would tie the game at 2 apiece. And they take their first lead of the game. A couple of minutes after that, Switzer's got trouble behind the net. Puck goes to Daxon Rudolph. Just fires it at the net, goes in off a Tiger. His 9th of the playoffs, 3-2 for the Raiders. Now, late in the second period, Raiders up 5-3. Coots with the backhander, deflected in front by Jonah Silverstone and past Casey Carter, who had replaced Switzer. Raiders up 6-3 after 2. The Tigers did mount a bit of a comeback in the third down. 6'4" Flames prospect Andrew Basha from behind the net in front to Josh Van Mulligan. He scores to cut the lead to 6-5, but the Raiders regain that 2-goal lead. A little later, nice effort there by Riley Boychuk. He beats Carter to make it a 7-5 game. Raiders hang on to win it 7-6, so they take the series 4-2. They will now face the Everett Silvertips in the league final.
Thank you, Glenn. Let's get our final peek at the forecast. We have some pretty nice days ahead.
We really do. A little cooler today, and I wanted to show the radar satellite right now because speaking of cool, you might notice on the radar satellite here, the clouds have a bit of a stripy pattern to them. We call those mackerel clouds. That's what they look like from aloft. Here's what they look like on the surface.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Michael capturing this for our weather window, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Now, mackerel clouds are also known for being harbingers of change. I feel like we already got the change, though, and the clouds were just a little late to arrive because it was cooler today. It's going to be a little below seasonal tomorrow, but we pick right back up into some nice, warm, sunny conditions by Wednesday. They're back into the 20s for a couple of days as well. But you notice we get that building cloud Thursday into Friday, and then showers likely on Saturday. That'll drive our temperatures down to seasonal with a high of 15.
Thank you, Gina. For breaking news anytime, go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow.